Hello and welcome to this, my first devlog on my upcoming game, Gunsoul. Now what is Gunsoul? It's a couch co-op split-screen version of the 16-bit classic Turrican, with the loot system and the character advancement of Destiny or Diablo. You and up to 3 friends can blast your enemies with an array of switchable weaponry, whilst wearing upgradable sets of futuristic power armour, all drawn out in a retro 16-bit art style. The difficulty level can be altered to suit the number and the level of players, which gives a high degree of replayability. Let's have a look at some of the tools that I've used whilst I was making Gunsoul. All the coding is done using a third-party tool called Game Maker Studio 2, which you can see on the screen here. It's a powerful 2D game creator which is perfect for this type of game and which I have used before, so I have some familiarity with it, although I'm by no means an expert. We have Paint Shop Pro 6. It's an old paint program which I bought sometime around the year 2000, I think. So I've been using it for a few years. Now for Gunsoul, it was used for most of the sprite work, although some of this was also done in the Game Maker Studio sprite editor, which has some very useful tools like onion skinning, which is lacking from an older piece of software like Paint Shop Pro 6. I used Critter, which is a paint program used for creating the full screen backgrounds and graphics, including the main title screen in Gunsoul. I used this rather than Paint Shop Pro because Paint Shop Pro 6 is kind of old and it doesn't support my graphics tablet. Critter is given over more towards sort of full screen artwork rather than sprite work, and so it was very useful for doing these title screens. I used Audacity, which is an audio manipulation tool. It does audio capture and editing. Enough said. I also used Inkscape, which you can see on the screen right now. This was used to create the Gunsoul lettering on the title screen. Now I probably could have done this with another application, but I knew how to get Inkscape to do it, how to arrange the lettering around a curve, so I just stuck with what I knew. So, what platforms will Gunsoul be released on? Initially, I'd like to release on the Amazon Fire TV console and possibly the Fire TV stick if the performance is good enough. I'll also do a version for the Windows PC, most likely on itch. Potentially, I will release a version for the mobile phone on Google Play. But to do this I'll have to restrict play to single player because the existing split screen option probably won't work very well on mobile phones because the screen is so small. The story background follows the usual depressing sci-fi scenario. It's the far future and civilization as we know it is at an end as the world is overrun by strange creatures of unknown origin. What remains of humanity is crammed into a series of sky cities, like the one you can see here. The defenders of these sky cities are a new breed of soldier called the Gunsouls, hence the game title. You and up to 3 of your buddies, potentially, are in this group and are charged with the defence of one such city. So that's it. It's pretty vague on details, but it does give you some context as to who you are, the state of the world, and why you're shooting all these strange creatures. Current state of the game. I've already implemented the basic systems. Rather than talk about each one, I'll just put a list on screen. You can pause the video and just run down it if you want to. Okay, if you finish reading down that list, then let's move on to see a short demo of the game in action. This is just the titles. We can move past this to the main title screen. Here we have our menu. We can have a quick look at the controls, fiddle with a few options, and we can start again. This takes us to the lobby, where we can choose a profile if we've made one, or create a new one. This is where up to 4 people can join the game. Then we can run over to the console here and choose a mission. So on this character, I've already unlocked these 2 missions. There's a bit of preamble before the start, and then it drops us in. As you can see, we've got tile-based collisions, shooting, jumping, some messages, some objects to interact with, some guns that have dropped, their power-ups. I already have a full inventory, so it's not picking that up. But here I can switch to different weapons. We've got explosions, some power-ups, some little green dudes that explode and try and kill you that way. The power-up I picked up has given us a small sort of homing effect on our bullets. That's why it's bending like that. And there, I've died. You get the skull and crossbones, and back we go to the mission selection screen. And if we want to, we can go back again to the lobby. Okay, that's the end of the quick demo. Thank you for watching, if indeed you have, and I will see you again shortly in further devlogs. Thanks for watching.